Hey everyone, it's Father Ryan. Hope this finds you well. In our gospel reading this Sunday, we hear one of the most famous stories from the early part of Jesus' ministry. He's walking along the shore of the Sea of Galilee, the gentle blue water lapping against the rocky beach, the olive trees running up the hills. He's walking along that beautiful part of the world, and he sees two pairs of brothers, Andrew and his brother Simon, also known as Peter, and James and his brother John. And both pairs of brothers are fishermen, as was very common at the time. And they're out doing their work, fishing off boats, mending their nets. And Jesus comes to them and says, "Follow me." And what's amazing is they do. They leave everything familiar behind, their nets and their boats, and they go to follow Jesus. It's made me think this week about what we mean when we talk about following. Because we use that word a lot in our culture too, but I'm not sure it's always in the way that Jesus intended. You see, I think most of the time when we talk about follow, we're talking about something more passive, something where we watch something else happen out there. You might think of it as following a favorite baseball team or basketball team and seeing how they do. You're not playing, but you care and you're watching, but the action's over there. Or you might think of it as following a friend or a celebrity on social media, like Facebook or Instagram or something else. You're not there doing the thing, but you care and you're watching to see what that person puts up, what photo they might post or what words they might write. It's not a bad thing to follow a favorite baseball team or to follow a friend on social media, but it's about what happens over there. And that's not the kind of following that Jesus is asking of Andrew and Peter and James and John. He's not asking them to keep fishing and just watch what he does over there, healing the sick or feeding the hungry, teaching people who are hungry to know about God, all about God's love. He doesn't say, just watch. He says, join in, follow me, be close to me, watch and join in. It's much more active. It makes me think of the game Follow the Leader. Maybe you've played that before. It's a game where people line up one behind the other, and maybe you put your hand on the shoulder of the person in front of you. And whatever the person at the front of the line does, maybe kick out their left leg or hop a little bit or stick out their tongue, whatever they do, however silly it might be, whatever they do, everyone else who's following the leader is meant to do the same. I haven't played that game in a long time, but it comes to me as an example of the kind of following that Jesus is talking about when he calls these first friends, these first disciples to follow him. He's not just saying watch. He's saying watch to learn, watch to do what I do, watch to get involved. I think as people of faith, as Christians, we're not just called to be passive and watch for what God is doing. We're called to join in. We're called to learn the moves. We're called to live and to love like Jesus. What might that look like for you this week? Well, it might look like being brave to tell the truth about something really important. It might look like sharing what you have with somebody who doesn't have as much, or befriending someone and playing with someone who might not be the cool person in the class. It might look like forgiving someone who hurt you. It might look like saying your prayers for all kinds of people, especially those who are hurt or sad or struggling. It might look like finding a way to volunteer and to help actively take care of people who are hungry or who are homeless or who are sick. It will probably look different one week by the next, and for each of us, there's not just one way to follow Jesus, but it's always about looking at him, learning what kinds of things Jesus did, and then trying to have the courage to do the same. So, like Andrew and Peter, like James and John, let's not just stay on the sidelines and watch from afar. But let's put down our nets and let's get involved and let's follow Jesus in living and loving like him so that this whole world might know the love of God. I look forward to hearing how that goes for you this week. And I hope that we will pray for one another, that we would have the courage to do it. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Be well, and let's go follow Jesus.